A mother's love is meant to be a fortress, an absolute place of safety. Alyssa Platel once said it was so hard to give her up, but I had to because I want her to live and be happy. She made the ultimate sacrifice a mother could, giving her baby away just to keep her safe. But years later, when that same daughter came back into their life, Alyssa would uncover a secret so twisted it would unravel a story of incest, betrayal, and murder. She gave her daughter away to protect her, only to be the one to expose her husband's horrifying relationship with the very child they had abandoned. The story starts in 1995. A 15-year-old Alyssa Garcia met 20-year-old Stephen Plato online. Their connection spiraled fast, and Alyssa ran away from her home in Texas to be with him. By 17, she was a mother, giving birth to their daughter, Denise, in January of 1998. But the life she thought she'd have was a nightmare. Alyssa reported that Stephen was horrifically abusive to the infant, pinching her until she was black and blue, and even putting her in a cooler just to muffle her cries. Fearing for her daughter's life, Alyssa did the only thing she could think of to save her. When Denise was just 8 months old, she placed her up for adoption. She found a home with Tony and Kelly Fusco, who renamed her Katie and raised her in a loving family. Meanwhile, Alyssa stayed with Stephen. Their marriage was volatile, and even after having two more daughters, they were on the path to separation by 2016. That same year, a glimmer of hope appeared as a Facebook message. Katie, now 18, had found them. She decided to forego college and move to Virginia to reconnect with a family she'd never known. For Alyssa, it was a dream come true, a reunion she had been waiting for nearly 2 decades. But that dream was about to turn into her worst nightmare. Soon after Katie moved in, things started to get strange. Stephen changed. He started dressing younger, growing uncomfortably close to Katie, eventually sleeping on the floor of her bedroom. Alarmed, Alyssa confronted him, but he brushed off her concerns. The tension became unbearable, and by November of 2016, Alyssa had moved out with their two younger daughters and filed for divorce. The full horrifying truth came out in May of 2017. While reading her 11-year-old daughter's diary, Alyssa's world fell apart. Her daughter wrote that Stephen had told the girls to call their older sister Katie, their stepmother. The diary confirmed the sickening secret. Katie was pregnant, and the father was Stephen. When Alyssa confronted him over the phone, he admitted it without shame. Her daughter was pregnant with her own father's child. In a desperate act to protect what was left of her family, Alyssa reported the incestuous relationship to the police. Despite the police investigation, Stephen and Katie got illegally married in Maryland in July of 2017, lying on the marriage certificate to hide their relation. They moved to North Carolina where Katie gave birth to a son, Bennett, in September. The law finally caught up with them, and in January of 2018, both were arrested for incest. They were released on bond, and a court ordered Katie to live with her adoptive parents and to stay away from Stephen. This separation sent him into rage. On April 11th of 2018, Stephen Platel drove to his mother's house, where she was watching 7-month-old Bennett. He took his son, drove him home, and smothered him. The next day, he drove to Connecticut with a rifle. He found Katie and her adoptive father, Tony Fusco, in their pickup truck and opened fire, killing them both. Hours later, after confessing to his mother on the phone, Stephen Platel was found dead in his van from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In less than 48 hours, a father had murdered his daughter, his grandson, and the man who had lovingly raised the child he once abandoned. Alyssa Platel, who began the story with an act of love and protection, was left as the sole survivor of a tragedy she fought desperately to prevent. She had warned the authorities and tried to warn Katie about Stephen's true nature. She chose to give her daughter away to save her from abuse, only for that abuse to steal her away in the most unimaginable way possible. This case serves as a horrifying reminder of how twisted secrets can fester into unspeakable violence. What are y'all's thoughts on this heartbreaking case? Let me know in the comments below respectfully. And for more stories that need to be heard, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.